Welcome and thank you very much for joining me. My name is Swartik Mayanja and this is the Mayanja Accredited News Network. On this channel, I bring to you guys news, pop culture, sports. I bring you guys anything and everything, but specifically, I cater it for nurses everywhere. Why does any of this, why does all of it matter to you as a nurse? And today we are talking about Michelle Carter. If you guys aren't familiar, if you guys don't know the trial, the case, I'm going to break it down for you. Michelle Carter was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter for sending 18-year-old Conrad Roy dozens of text messages that encouraged him to commit suicide. He died in 2014 of carbon monoxide poisoning after he drove to a secluded parking lot and killed himself. So this is super sad, and when you just hear that, you say, oh my goodness, it's super sad, but and just encouraging. That might not be that big of a deal. You know, today in today's internet age, you can say anything on Twitter. You can, you know, send out death threats. When someone says I'm about to commit suicide, if someone puts that out publicly, you'd be lucky if you get half of the people who say super negative things like jump off a bridge and do it, you just do it anyways. These are really crude and crazy things that happen, and that's why this case specifically is super important, because this is very different. I mean, freedom of speech, you should be, and you are, except for Michelle, maybe, consequently, you should be able to say and do anything, say anything you want with no consequences. Freedom of speech, that's what it should be. You should not, until this hearing, anyone who says anything to someone who wants to commit suicide or is depressed hasn't been looked at and said they were responsible. So the reason that this case is different, the judge focused his ruling on 3 words Carter said to the 18-year-old Roy after he climbed out of his truck as it was filling with toxic gas and told her he was scared. Those 3 words were "get back in," which is as awful and as cruel thing you can say knowing the situation. I can understand why. You know, as I'm reading this for the 15th time over again, it starts to sink in. This is some cruel shit. Carter told Roy, according to a friend who testified that Carter described the conversation in a text message to her about a month after Roy died. The judge said those words constituted wanton and reckless conduct, which I think they should. It's a hard place to be, right? I personally don't believe 20 years is the right sentence for the situation. First of all, she was 17 at the time. These teenagers, yeah, they're adults, you know, they're old enough. I'm saying she should go to prison. Definitely, I definitely believe she should. There has to be some kind of consequences for what this young lady did, because it's insane, right? But 20 years, that's, you know, manslaughter. It's insane. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time for a text message. And obviously it's not just one. I'm going to continue and I'm going to read some more. It's not just one text message. It wasn't just 2. It was over like 1,000 Facebook messages, text messages that they went back months and months, and they've been talking about this and planning this for a whole long time. It wasn't just like a one-day off thing. So a few of those text messages she sent, which are super cruel, you can't think about it, you just have to do it. You said you were going to do it. Like, I don't get why you aren't. Carter wrote to Roy the day of his suicide. This is the day of. This is kind of scary. I thought you wanted to do this. The time is right and you're ready, she says later. Just do it, babe. And this is from a previous day, obviously. So this sets up this can set up a precedent if she decides to appeal the sentencing by the judge. It'll go up to the higher courts, and if that happens, and if the higher courts agree with the judge's ruling, that would set the precedent that she was responsible through the text messages, and moving forward, others, teenagers, human beings, everyone in America would be responsible if you were pressuring someone to commit suicide. opens a whole lot of doors when it comes to these haters and these cruel human beings that live on, like these trolls that live on the internet, because they say some crazy shit. And if this is where we're going, I don't know who calls who. When is it too much? When that's just it's just hard to decide. And it's not just me who's obviously it's not just me, but it's such a serious concern from many lawyers, people, lawyers, judges, and everyone, right? This is just a big concern because freedom of speech is something, you know, First Amendment, something we live on. The American Civil Liberties Union denounced the conviction, saying it exceeds the limits of the criminal laws and violates free speech protections guaranteed by Massachusetts and the U.S. Constitution. And I agree with them. I think that I don't think that speech should be taken. I don't agree with the sentencing. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a nurse. What the hell do I know, right? I don't agree with the judge's ruling. I don't agree with the sentencing. But that's not my job to say. But what I am here to do is, why does this matter to you as a nurse? Because this is huge. This is humongous, and it's a big hole in healthcare today, and that hole is mental illness. I honestly believe there is something. I don't know her. I haven't assessed her. I don't know anything about Michelle Carey, the young lady, but I do believe stable human beings, stable people aren't willing to or don't want other people to commit suicide, right? So I do believe, and she was 17 at the time, right? She was 17 when this all went down. They were in high school. I do believe something's up with her. And it's clear as day to everyone here, he was thinking about suicide. He had depression. We actually have the ability to make a difference when it comes to mental illness, even though the healthcare system, the government, all the higher ups, everyone who rules how this healthcare system is run today, specifically, especially with who we have in office, mental illness is going on a downward spiral. People are putting less money into mental illness. People are shutting down entire mental illness wards and hospitals because they believe that that's where we can save the most money. I honestly believe it's becoming a rampant issue here in the States and everywhere, really, with these mass shootings. I don't think those people are stable. I don't think if you're going to tell your boyfriend at the time to commit suicide, you're stable. I don't think if you want to commit suicide, you're stable. These are all places we as nurses can interrupt, and we can actually do something about it. If we see something that signals or it gives us a bulb of thinking that a patient is depressed or suicidal, it is our responsibility as mandatory reporters to make something of the situation, to get it to people who need to know, to tell their PCP, to get the medications, to get them the therapy, the counseling that they need. This is where we can actually make a difference, and it's not our responsibility to save every depressed patient's life in the universe, in the world. No, but for your patient that you have today, for the patient that you had yesterday, for the patient that you have ever, for all the patients you ever have, we need to be a little more cognizant. These are things that we can actually do on a day-to-day, right? You might end up reporting something that comes out negative, might come, no big deal, the patient was fine, it was just a bad day, sure. But you also might report something that would get that person some counseling that would prevent that person from committing suicide, right? And you might not know it. You would have no idea if or when your patient didn't or did commit suicide, but we can make a difference. And that's why these situations and situations like this across the country really matter to us nurses. If you enjoyed, please hit that thumbs up button. I would really appreciate that. Definitely comment in the comment section below telling me if you feel that this ruling was too much, which I feel like, and what do you think about the mental illness situation today in America. And then most importantly, please, I just hit 10,000 viewers on this channel. It took me a little bit. I clawed and I climbed, but I would love to get there much faster. So please hit that nice subscribe button so you can see all the videos I post. Like I said, I will be bringing you news and information that matters to nurses everywhere. Thank you, and catch you later.